Imagine turning your most dreaded meetings into the most dynamic part of your day. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Well, Patrick Lencioni, the author of Death by Meetings and many other books, says no, it's not impossible. And by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to prove it. So stay tuned as we explore the top 5 strategies of the great book, Death by Meeting by Patrick Lencioni. These 5 strategies will not only save you time, but it'll also save your sanity and perhaps even your career. Hello Peak Lifers, and welcome back to the channel where we journey together to design, build, and live our own peak life. Today we're diving into the book by Patrick Lencioni, Death by Meeting, a book that promises to revolutionize one of our biggest pain points of every week, meetings. And through my experience of reading this book and implementing many of its suggested changes, I'll say yes, it does deliver on that promise. So this video is for you. If you're one of us that dreads those unproductive, never on time, and often very boring meetings, let's find out how to transform them into energetic, productive, and helpful meetings that you'll look forward to every single week. An overview of the book is that Death by Meeting focuses on the pain point that all professionals know too well. Meetings that are too long, too often, too boring, and too unproductive. The author offers us a fresh new perspective on why most of these meetings fail, and he provides a straightforward approach to make your meetings more engaging and more fruitful. The book is structured like all of Lencioni's, where about 90% of it is focused around a story. And what this does is it makes the book not only informative, but also engaging and fun to read. So let's jump into the first main concept, the meeting myth. The meeting myth is that meetings are inherently bad, but this isn't true. The ways that we can tackle this is engagement over efficiency. The goal in itself isn't to have shorter meetings, but instead more engaging ones. Lencioni explains that the only way to have good meetings is to have real meetings, where real issues are talked about and solved. Next, into our main point number 2, and that's that we need to have different types of meetings. Just like not all TV shows or all movies serve the same purpose, some are just a quick show to have on the background while you're making dinner. Others are sit down like Lord of the Rings, where you need to have 3 hours of your undivided attention. Meetings are the same. So instead of having one meeting that serves all the purposes, break it up. Have daily check-ins. These are brief, agenda-free meetings that serve to align the team. They should last no more than 5 to 10 minutes, but it's just a quick way so that everyone knows that everyone else is working on what they're supposed to and what their top priority is of that day. Another term for this is called the daily huddle. Next, you can have weekly tactical meetings. This is where you can set out your goals and priorities for the week, as well as review your success and your metrics. The focus of these meetings are on tactical concerns that have to be solved in that immediate time frame, not big long-term problems that are going to take a whole bunch of time to discuss and solve. Some companies do this once a week, where they review everything on, say, a Monday, and other companies do this twice a week, where on a Monday they'll meet and set out their goals and priorities for the week, and then on Friday they'll look back at their KPIs or their metrics to see how they did. And then the next type of meeting is your bigger strategic meetings. These could be monthly, quarterly, and also incorporate yearly planning sessions. This is where you discuss and analyze and brainstorm your critical strategic issues that will affect the company not only today, but in the long term. This is the place that you can sit down and really hammer out your competitor analysis, your SWOT, and discuss the details on that new product development that you've been putting on the back burner for the last couple months. Lencioni points out to us that just like different types of tools, you need to have different types of meetings. By having all these different meetings, you can stay on the right scope and pace for each one. When you're in a daily huddle, you don't get bogged down by the big strategic decisions. And when you're doing your big strategic planning session, you don't have to get bogged down by the daily fires and the daily to-dos. So an action guide for this, a way that you can start incorporating it, is to categorize the different types of meetings your company already has and ask yourself, what is the purpose of each one? Do we have something to keep everyone aligned on the day-to-day? A way to review our progress through the week and set priorities, and the opportunity to do long-term strategic planning. The next main concept is structure and preparation. Having everyone on the same page is absolutely critical for a successful meeting. And that means they have to be both prepared for the meeting and they have to understand what is going to be expected of them. The way to do this is with an agenda. And agendas are crucial so that you know what the flow of the meeting is. What sections or what topics are you going to hit and how much time is going to be allocated to it. Without this, you'll often find that people get into the weeds and they go into the wrong level of detail, and it can completely derail an otherwise good meeting. You should tailor your agenda to that meeting type. The agendas need to be dynamic and relevant to the issues at hand. And then looking at the prep work, if people have reading to do beforehand, make sure that they have sufficient time to review it and that they know that it's a priority. If someone has to present an idea, make sure that they have it together, because when you have 10 executives sitting around a boardroom table, every minute of wasted time is very expensive. So by having the person preparing spend a little more effort, you get huge multiples of return. So your take-home action guide for this is on your next 3 meetings, send out a clear agenda and make sure that you stick to your time limits. Good meetings always start on time and end on time. And main concept number 4 is that conflict is necessary and good meetings always contain conflict. Most people, most organizations will have a fear of conflict, but shying away from conflict ends up leading to unresolved issues and therefore mediocre decisions. So instead, you want to harness conflict. You want to grow your team so that they can trust each other and trust that they can say what's truly on their mind. By using conflict correctly, you can reach clear decisions and create more robust ideas. The fear of conflict is almost always a sign of problems, Lencioni notes. So as a leader, you have to guide this conflict. You have to encourage your team to engage in healthy debate, and how to do that without taking it personally. And if you're looking for a better resource for this, I highly recommend the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, which I have a full video summary of right up here. So your action guide for this is to go back and encourage a culture of conflict. Well, of healthy conflict, that is, where people feel safe to disagree and safe to voice what's on their mind. And finally, main concept number 5 is all about decisions and accountability. For a meeting to be good, it must end in clear decisions and accountability that whatever was discussed is going to get done. So for the decision making, there's often decisions made throughout a meeting, and those decisions have to be recorded. The next part of this is to assign responsibilities. Everyone should know what tasks or to-dos they're responsible for and when the deadline is. Lencioni tells us that accountability follows decisions like night follows day. And then you have your follow-ups. Regular follow-ups on decisions and to-dos in your tasks help ensure that your commitments are made and kept to. This keeps everyone accountable for what they said they were going to do. And when everyone's accountable and the tasks are getting done, the whole team ends up operating with a lot more trust and momentum. So your action guide is at your next meeting, create a decision register where you write down what decisions are made and what tasks are assigned. Think about the WWW. Who will do what by when? And then in your next follow-up meeting, that's the time to review. Everyone should be getting done their to-dos. And if you have a completion rate of less than say 90%, you know that you have an issue of either prioritization or follow-through. So thanks for watching Peak Lifers. If you found these insights from Death by Meeting helpful, then check out my video up here that I have all about the new way of leadership through empathy. Thanks, and we'll see you there.